So we're moving on with Reiki class, Usui Reiki class, part 2 here. And something I want to talk about before we start doing that is, like, when I talk about setting your intention, the dog's drinking, there may be parts of your ritual that come about. Like, every time I go to record something, the dogs seem to want to drink, right? So that's part of their ritual. Bridget, you know, is up, or Mama's up. Let's go over there and do something too. We want to be part of the action. So they're part of my spirit team. Their energy helps me, even though sometimes it's like, because I worry about it, you know, coming across like unprofessional and all of that. It's just what it is. So whenever I set my intention to do healing or to open the vortex, within Reiki, it's like the Gasho prayer, and it's very simple. It doesn't have to be something crazy. I know you've probably heard me say some crazy things, right? When I open up that vortex, I'm like boopity 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 bop and boopity boopity beep. And then when I do the Muneki right stuff, like when I do my guided meditations, a lot of times I will open sacred space by calling in the 4 directions. I'm like boopity 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 bop. And there's a lot that I say. You don't have to do that 111, okay? You can keep it simple, okay? So you can literally just say Reiki on and have that be the thing, because if your mind knows and your subconscious is aware that when I say Reiki on, my intention is surrounded by that I am now channeling healing energy, then it will happen. But what you want to also know about that is that when you say Reiki on, or you open a vortex, or you call in the 4 directions, or you say a prayer, that there's something else that's going on around you to protect you. So for me, Archangel Michael has been my guy since I was a little kid. I didn't go to church, didn't know anything about that stuff, but for some reason, at 3 a.m. when I was scared, I would call on Archangel Michael to come protect me. So he's still my dude. I still have the prayer written somewhere that I wrote from my Reiki 1 class, because I wrote it down. So I encourage you to write down something for yourself in the beginning when you're still just getting started, so that you don't have to think and you can just kind of get practice with it. The first few times that I opened the 4 directions, I read the prayer. The first few times I opened the vortex, I had listened to my mentor so much at that point that I didn't need to read it or anything, because I was always there with her. We would open up. So like if you have a group of people, you can all hold hands, and we would do that, and she'd be like, I now ground the vortex, and feel the vortex go down into the heart of Mother Earth, and then bring the vortex all the way up into the light source. But I took from that my own thing. I don't always do it the way that she did it. When I do it, I open it up and I go to like Lyra, or I go to Sirius, or I go to this place or that place. I go to Atlantis. I go to wherever I want to go. And when I open up to the source of all that there is, I will ask for specific frequencies to come down through the center of that vortex. You can do that without the vortex, but I like the vortex because it's a transmuter. It gets me into the energy. You know, it can be as simple as Reiki on. When we do the new paradigm, we say Shambhala on. Shambhala is just another energy. It's just another term, and it's what resonates for you. When you do the Gasho prayer, it's basically like, okay, I'm now getting grounded, and I'm going to call on either my Archangel or my I Am Presence or the Star Beings or the Star Keepers or the Great Spirit or Creator, whoever, don't matter, God, whatever you want, to help me setting my intention, protecting my space, and helping me to be a clear channel to deliver the healing energy to whoever I'm working on, okay? So I will go through the things that I do and let you kind of take from it what you want. And then in the community board, I will post the 4 direction prayer so that you can read it if you like. But when I do the 4 direction, I really like that one, because it depends. Sometimes when I do the 4 direction one, it's like because I'm feeling more grounded or more earthy energy that needed to come through. And it connects me with the archetypes and the animal spirits, and it helps us to like connect with our lower chakras. And I like it, okay? A lot of people really like it. I don't even say it word for word as what the prayer is written, but that again, like, that's what should happen. If you hear me say something all the time, I would hope that over time you may spin that in your own way. So I'm going to show you how I open the 4 directions. Hello, Sirius. Sirius is here to help us with that. Okay, so my phone messed up. I wasn't aware of it. I didn't see it. I paused, started it, right? And I opened the 4 directions, but now I have 2 separate videos, and one video it ends and the next one starts at the direction of the north. So for the full thing, I'm gonna edit this in there, and basically I start off by connecting to the direction of the south. Okay, so I now call to the winds of the south, to the great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us, teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin, to walk softly on the earth, teach us the beauty way. To the winds of the west, Mother Sister Jaguar, come to us from the place of the Rainbow Bridge and protect our medicine space. Allow us to see and to hear with a greater heightened sense and awareness. Allow us to feel strong and protected to enhance our vision. To the winds of the north, ancient ones, Grandmother Hummingbird, you who have come before us and you who will come after us, our children's children, we honor you and we thank you for your strength to make it through the seemingly impossible journeys of life. You who are not built for flight but defy the obstacles, who rise, who drink sweetly from the nectar of life. To the winds of the east, great eagle condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Allow us to rise wing to wing with the Great Spirit. Allow us to see from new heights, to rise above the storms of life. Allow us to see with the eyes of our heart and our soul, to see the interconnectedness of all things. And Mother Earth, our sacred mother, we have gathered for the healing of all your children, the stone people, the rock people, the creepy crawlers, the furred, the finned, the winged ones, all of our relations, we have gathered here for the healing of. And to the Great Spirit, Creator, you who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unnameable, we honor you and we ask for you to assist us in transmitting and healing as we work with the energies of Reiki today. We know that we are safe within our medicine space, our sacred space, and we are in a place to dance the dance of life another day. I hope. So that is one way you can open your sacred space, and it's nice, right? It's nice. We got our sacred space open. Now, sometimes when I have a person coming to do a healing with me, and I've got them on my Reiki table, I will do that, right? But other times, I will open the vortex because it's maybe more galactic-y feeling, and I wanna channel in something specific. Maybe this person comes in and I can tell they're an anxious mess, right? So if I don't have lavender or I don't have amethyst, but I feel like I need those frequencies brought in, I'm gonna open the vortex and I'm gonna ask to bring those things in. If I have someone who's struggling with abundance, I may be like, I want to call on the Lyrans to come on in and support this person to find the abundance that they're missing, to find the wisdom within themselves to realize that they are a powerful manifester, and to give them the strength and the courage to do so. So I would open the vortex by simply, I now ground the vortex, and you are the commander of the energy in that moment. I now ground the vortex, and I imagine it to be like a beautiful tornado. Okay, it looks like a tornado to me. So I ground that vortex all the way down into the heart of Mother Earth. And here in the heart space, I call on the angels and archangels, the ascended masters, the multidimensional beings of light, the Pleiadian, the Arcturian, the Lyran, Andromedan, Sirian, Vega, and Avian consciousness to assist us in bringing this vortex all the way up around us on all sides, expanding out as it rises into the light, beyond the edges of the atmosphere, through the planets, stars, moons, and galaxies, all the way up into the light of Source where all information is known and stored. And here, I anchor, and I speed up to just the speed of light for transmutation. Anything inside of this vortex that is not at the vibration of the Mahatma love without condition will not be allowed to stay within. And anything outside of this vortex that is not at the vibration of the Mahatma love without condition will not be allowed to enter. I expand this vortex out to encompass our sacred space, and I invite the I am presence of each individual connecting with this transmission to enter into that vortex for transmutation and protection, and to receive the alignment that is needed and necessary for them at this time. I ask for a pillar of light to come down through the center of the vortex and into the crown of each individual at this time. And I ask for the light of Lyra. I ask for the healing frequency of amethyst, the soothing scent of lavender to enter in to their crown and to move down through their system to help them to find ease and comfort as we move on with this class. So that is how I open it up sometimes. Sometimes I do the editing. Sometimes I don't. Like, say you're going down the road, right? And like somebody falls over and gets hurt, or there's a major accident, or something bad happens. You're probably not going to want to be like, hold on, guys, for 10 minutes, right? So that's the time where you're just like, okay, Shambhala on, or Reiki on, or yo, gasho, woohoo, I gotta do this. Because when you fall down and you get hurt, you're not stopping to do all that. You're like, oh my god, no. So, you know, again, it's intelligent and we'll know where to go. But when we're becoming a healer and we're tapping into other people's energies and their aura and all of that, and people who come to you most likely have something going on that is in need, right? So you don't want to be all susceptible and open up and like, yeah, sure, come on in, because then you get that stuff on you. I've had experiences in the past that were like, oh shit, you know, there was like an attachment on a woman that came, and again, I don't think these things will happen to you until you're ready for them. This was years into my healing practice and journey. I had done many sessions with many people, and then one day, all of a sudden, I'm home alone, and someone comes, and they were like, you know, convulsing and stuff, and things were breaking, and it was crazy, and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? But I knew this person, and I knew, like, what their frequency was, you know, and what resonated for them. They weren't really all about the starseed stuff as much as they really resonated with, like, Jesus and Mary and all of them, right? So they're convulsing, they're screaming, things are breaking. I'm like, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave. And it just naturally came. I giggle at it now because, like, in the moment, it was fucking serious. Like, it was serious shit. It wasn't laughing, or it wasn't no laughing matter. Even the reason why it manifested was no laughing matter. It's just like to reflect on it. It's like, because that's not me, man. That's not me. I was channeling what that person needed for them to be able to release that attachment in that moment. But for some reason, that attachment came out of them and stayed in my house. And I dealt with it for a couple of days. Nobody was home with me. My dad was gone, my brother wasn't there, and I was home alone, and creepy ass things were happening. As soon as that person left, I walked through the house with some of this, okay? Now I got 7 of these at this time, okay? 7 of these little guys that are literally bred to hunt badgers and shit. I've watched Sadie Lady and Honey Bunny Puppy do like the T-Rex move out of the movie. You know, when the T-Rexes grabbed the Velociraptor and ripped it in half, I saw them do that to a mouse, okay? And eat it. And I've seen them, they're like the #1 crazy breed, okay? The pit bulls, no, it's them. They're the #1 most vicious breed. I just saw the meme again the other day in my memories. I went into my whole house, right? All the rooms. I went into my bedroom. I'm on the phone with my friend because I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm like, that was really messed up. I'm kind of scared. Because I could feel that the thing didn't leave. And I was like, what is going on? Okay? Which probably added to the fact that it didn't leave. Because I wasn't fully confident. I was like, oh, OMG, this is my first time dealing with this. What is this? And so afterwards, I go through my room. I come out. Now, mind you, I keep my eyes on the floor a lot. Because there's them, and they poop on the floor a lot, right? And as I'm coming out of my bedroom, there was a dead petrified mouse on the floor that was like solid. Like it had been dead for years and petrified into like a flat thing. There is no way all 7 of them would have missed that. There's no way I would have missed that walking in. So I was like, okay, that's gross and creepy. And I cleansed everything upstairs, but I didn't go into the basement because I was home alone and I was kind of creeped out. So for the next couple of nights, like in the middle of the night, city leaders start barking at my door and stuff, and things were just off. So finally, one day, I stood in the atrium area. This was when I was living in the house before here on the water. And I was like, I command you to leave. I opened the vortex and I pushed it out. but I was protecting the house. And outside of the atrium, bing, 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 someone started knocking. I go outside, there's nobody out there. I go inside, bang, bang, bang. I go outside, there's nobody. And I went in and out, and I'm like, is my brother here messing with me? You know, like, is it my dad? They weren't there. They weren't there. And it wasn't that, okay? Like, so I don't know what was going on, but it was that, okay? It was whatever came out of that woman. So I pushed the vortex out even further, and it stopped immediately. And that's not the only time things like that have happened. There was, again, at that house, I opened the vortex. I was doing a healing in the middle of a crazy-ass storm. We lost power. All these things are happening. A tree on this side of the house snapped and went over the top of the house to the front of the house and missed the house entirely. Even the tree guy that came was like, this doesn't make any sense. How did this happen? And I was like, I didn't talk to him, but like my brother and my dad told me. I was like, there's maybe the vortex, you know, speed of light, pushing things away. Because we were literally doing a healing session, and I always keep a vortex up at my house too. So again, if you're a spiritual person and you feel like attacked by people, if your spirit triggers people, if people, because people like reactions, you know, people want a reaction. People want to push your buttons, and when they can't, it makes them mad. Especially narcissists and people like that. They just wanna get under your skin. They want those reactions. They feed off those reactions. And you may start having monitoring spirits and things like that show up. Like I've lived in this house for quite a few years now, and I've always had the same type of bugs show up at the same type of year. But this year, these nasty little gnat things have shown up, and I'm like, okay, this is definitely connected to something. And I wasn't sure what. I felt like more than one because there were so many of them, and they're going to the money corner of the house, right? Someone like wanting to watch your money, and they're all dying over there. They're all dying in front of that glass door over there. And so then recently I get a call from the stalker again, and I'm like, okay, so it makes sense that a nasty ass like gnat thing is watching me, but I feel like it's also other people. It's not just him. Those are monitoring spirits. It's people who are monitoring you. They watch you, but they don't like you. They don't like, you know, enjoy you. And I will never understand that, because if I don't like you, I don't want to look at you. I don't want that. And it doesn't do me any good to do it. You know, I've done it in the earlier years, but I'm at a point now where, no. So you want to protect yourself. You know, open the vortex. Be aware of these things. Not every bug is going to be representative of something like that. But you will start to know inside of you what these things are connected to. And you will get confirmation of those things. Every time I open my mouth, think something, say something, I get these confirmations. And then I'm like, okay, a lot of the stuff I don't even share openly, because I know there's people out there who are looking for a way to manipulate or harm, or looking for a way to reach onto your energy and hurt you. So we need to protect ourselves. People may not even be conscious of it. There's a lot of people out there who have attachments on them that they don't realize are on them, that are making them do stupid ass shit. Like be mean, be jealous, be like all of the things, gluttonous, envious, lazy, you know, those things, that the 7 deadly sins there. And a lot of times it's a spirit that's attached to them that's making them do that, or a spirit that's attached to them making them drink, spirit attached to them making their health a hot mess, and then they go to like our traditional doctor system and get worse. And it's like a thing that is designed in this way. So we need to break out of that. We need to protect ourselves. We need to not let those things harm us, you know, and not take it personally either, because it's not a personal thing. You know, even if it's a person in your life that feels personal attack, most of the time through a light worker, it's just them, baby. It's something on them, or your light is pushing their demons out. But don't take it personal. Protect yourself in any of those ways, and that's how you can get your energy on for that. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 7 chakras, which I'm assuming most of you may know what these are. If you don't, that's okay. I have another series on the channel about the chakras. Well, it's in my Alcyon Light Healing. In every level, there was 7 levels of Alcyon Light Healing. I would talk about a chakra and do like a meditation to go with that chakra. So if you want to dive deeper into what are this, that, and the other thing about each chakra, you can watch those videos. And it's in a playlist. And again, Alcyon Light Healing will teach you everything I know. And the link in my bio will give you the activations. Or the link in my, like I have a snip feed link. And I have all the activations for level 1 put together. It's like 20 bucks, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, depending on the level. and you get a certain amount of activations for each level. It's everything that I've learned over the last however many years, 2015 to now, or 2011 till now, and there's like hundreds of videos in there. But the chakra ones are bonus material. You don't have to pay anything to watch those. They're free right now. You can watch them. All the meditations in there, all the teachings in there are free as well. Donations are greatly appreciated, very much. But the activations are the only thing that I charge for, and I only charge like $5 for each one. So each level, it's under $25 to get the activations, depending on how many activations are in that level. But we're just gonna go into the basics, okay? We're not gonna cover every single thing about the chakras here because it's already out there for you to find. And if you want to like look at things, there's a lot on like Pinterest where you can see like different pictures that will show you like the colors, and through repetition you'll get better at this. That's why I liked when I did, I don't know what's going on with the phone, but I liked when I did, I know what's going on with the phone, but I'm sorry if it's messing up. When I did the Moon Key, I liked that we started connecting with the archetypes. I like calling in the 4 directions because those archetypes that I called on, the direction of the south is the serpent, is the root, okay? And then the direction for the west, which is the jaguar, is your sacral. And again, it takes time to figure that stuff out. It takes time to learn all of those things. But that was another way for me to integrate that information. That was another way for me to upgrade what I'm doing, you know, beyond just knowing what the chakras are. But every chakra is, you know, here on your body. It's a spinning vortex of energy. And the first one is your root. It's down here at the base of your spine. And if you're going to do a healing session on somebody, we don't touch their root. We don't touch their hoo-has. We hover in those areas, okay? But the root chakra is the lowest and most dense. It's about survival, grounding, security, primal energy, taking care of yourself and others. So it makes sense to be connected with the serpent, whose whole body's always on the ground. The serpent doesn't really think much about like, I should save some food for later. They eat the whole thing, you know? And then the sacral energies are relationships, our emotions, our sensitivity, and our sensuality. And when you think of the jaguar, right, the jaguar's kind of smooth and slick and sleek, and it's got heightened senses, and it may save some of its food for later. It's a higher perspective, it's more creative, the one that knows the way across the rainbow bridge. And again, it may be different for you on how these things resonate for you or what makes sense in your mind. My mind categorizes things in different ways, okay? So the sacral chakra is orange, the root is red, and then we come up to the solar, which is yellow, and it's your personal power, energy, and vitality. So when someone cheats on you, or someone lies to you, or someone manipulates you, right to your solar plexus, right? You feel it. You want to protect that. You want to balance that. Because if these chakras, right, get out of balance, if any of them are out of balance, it messes up the flow of energy. Because you have energy flowing up and down around all your chakras all the time. Your Kundalini energy is like spiraling around each and every single one. And if one of these gets blocked or imbalanced, it messes up the flow to all the others. So it's good to regularly practice these. And for the next 21 days after getting your certificate or your healing attunement, you could spend 3 days each working on those chakras to do your 21 days of self-healing and become more aware of those chakras. Let me dive, let me research. I have some blog posts on my website, divineessential.com, about the chakras, but there's an endless reservoir of information on the planet already. And the best way to get the information is to meditate and go within and to ask yourself and to ask your own presence and ask your guides to help you. You may not need to start with the root. Maybe something's going on somewhere else and you need to start there. Only you will know. Okay? And then we have the heart chakra, which is green, and it's all about balance, love, and connection. Okay? Then we have the throat chakra, which is blue, and that's about communication, expression, and healing. This is how we share our authentic truths with the world, our voice, you know. And sometimes, like, if people are lying, and you'll see, these things can manifest. I saw 1818. Things can manifest on people. Like, if people are full of shit, they start to get really thick up here. If people are holding on a bunch of stuff within their relationships, they may hold it all here. Sometimes it can manifest on the back, too. And there's other parts of the body that get screwed up. You know, like, when my feet got screwed up, that also connects to other places in the body. It's not just the feet. And the feet are also, you know, a whole maze of information on those. But these are things you can dive into as you go. You don't need to know all of this right off the bat. You just want to kind of know the basics, okay? And something that could help you to understand and remember the basics is like put something down under the Reiki table that you're going to be using to practice, or under you while you're practicing. You get a blanket that has the Reiki, like the chakra colors on it, so you remember. And by wearing different colors, or eating different colors, or even just calling on the frequency of those colors, using crystals of those colors, can help to balance those areas. So if you're doing healings with people and you're not quite sure of all the chakras off the top of your head, you can help yourself by putting crystals on their body, or putting crystals underneath the table. You could put little crystal grids underneath the table. You could put whatever you want, however it makes sense for you. You can even get like a bracelet that has them in order, or a necklace that has them in order, so it's easier for you to remember. So you're like, okay, I'm working, what is this one? What is the color of this one? What is, like, it will, repetition over time will help you to really absorb these things, okay? But yeah, that's the throat. Then the third eye is like an indigo color, kind of like a purpley color, and that is about our intuition and our understanding. And then our crown chakra, I say, is white. Some people say it as purple, but I feel like that confuses you, because you get the indigo here, and then sometimes people up here have violet, but I always go with white for the crown. And that is for enlightenment and transcendence. This is where your wisdom is coming from. This is how you're going to see that wisdom and intuit that wisdom. They're going to see the synchronicity, the repetitive numbers, you know, and it's going to get stronger over time. When I first started, I didn't see anything at all, ever. Now, when I close my eyes, I see all types of things going on. I'm dreaming all the time. I'm getting signs and synchronicity in ways that I never did. My way before was just clear knowing and then healing. Now it's all of those things. And I'm, again, sorry, I don't know what's going on with the phone. I've had to keep turning it off and back on so that it stops doing these things, but at least it's still recording. So those are the 7 chakras, and your energy will flow through them in different ways, and you may receive the flow of energy in different ways. Like when I put a person on a table and I want to like scan them to see like what chakra may be imbalanced, or what might be going on in them that isn't working out so well, have them lay down on the table, and I will start beside them, and I'm like, okay, let me do my vortex or whatever it is, do a little Palo Santo, a little sound. You can even clap to shift energy, but we connect. And then as that person's laying there, I will scan them, slowly scanning their body as they're laying down. And I will go downstairs to the Reiki table to do like a demonstration of this. But I scan, just like slowly above their body, right? And I tune in with their energy. And sometimes I feel resistance. It's like, oh, there's a resistance here. There may be a block here, okay? Other people sometimes feel it to be cold. Other people feel it to be hot. Other people like just have a knowing. Other people just see something with their eyes closed. So there's no wrong way. And if you don't have anything happen, it's okay. Just trust. Just trust. If you don't have anything happen, trust that you will eventually have something happen. And when all in doubt, you don't know what to do, start at the crown and just work on every chakra, because every chakra is connected to each chakra. 22, 22. They're all interconnected, okay? So, boop, boop, boop. They're the windows of the soul, is what Dwal Qual has said about the chakras. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so I think this will, I don't know, we'll keep going. We'll keep going a little bit. So, the Reiki attunement process is how one becomes a Reiki practitioner. It is transferred to the student by a master. An attunement is a process of opening yourself and your senses to embrace the ancient art of Reiki. The Reiki attunement opens the door towards the path that connects the human body to the main source of universal life energy. This process opens the crown, the heart, and the palm chakras and creates a special link between the student and the Reiki source. In other words, you are being attuned to a higher frequency. And once you have a Reiki attunement, you will have it for life. It does not wear off, and you can never lose it. Same to go with anything else. Like when you get the Muni Key rights, people always ask me, like, do I need to get it again because I didn't do anything with it? No, it's always there, but it will be dormant unless you actively do something with it. If you're not meditating, if you're not practicing, if you're not going outside, if you're just like, then these things just are there, you know? So practice and work with them, even if it's just on yourself. Many people report experiencing the following after an attunement process: the opening of a third eye, the increase of an intuitive awareness, other psychic abilities, a release of negative emotions, changes in their food preferences, and a more conscious connection between their mind and body. So back when I first did all these things, I was like, you know, I still drink soda and don't eat the best because we've been struggling financially, but back then I was eating hummus and crackers, and like I was like getting vegan food from this lady that I knew. She was making me like vegan stuff and I was eating it, which my whole life I feel like I have a little bit of that ADHD autism mixed thing up in there, because I'm like, no, I just want chicken nugget or a burger or pizza. Like I'm like, no, I don't want anything green or colorful or like vegetable or fruit, or just, I'm just very limited. But I think that's also because I grew up in a house where it was like, you know, some fish sticks, you know. And so I really did shift within things. I was drinking Kangen water and this thing and like doing all this stuff that I had never done before, but I wanted to. So you may notice that within yourself. Like all of a sudden you're craving different food. All of a sudden your body can't really take, like me and my dad both, like we don't really eat meat. You know, we're just not a big fan of the meat stuff. And that has happened over time. He's gone through an awakening. He's received healings from me. He did the Munich with me. He saw himself inside of a Merkaba and all of that, like, and we've both been like grossed out, which I think is just that they're doing a lot of shit to the meat now anyways. But yes, you may find that happen. Healing with Reiki therapy. Use your intuition, follow your impressions, even if you think they may be weird. And I say this all the time, like when people come and get on my table, like it don't make sense to me, but it makes sense to them. Like, I'm seeing this big weird fucking boop, and they may not even acknowledge it or know right then, but they figure it out later and come back and like, oh my god, I know what you're talking about. Or they may know what you're talking about, but are like self-conscious about wanting you to know. So like a good indication to know if you've been on point with people or not is if they keep coming back. And a lot of times when you say stuff, they're like, okay. Like, every time I've taught this class recently, right? Both people who come, I'm like, I feel something here. And they're like, ha, 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 because there's something right there going on. And they're like, oh my God. Like, it connects. It makes sense. And I'm like, and I've gotten better at it over time. But in the beginning, I was nervous. I didn't want to say those things. Same thing when I started doing, like, oracle card readings. I was nervous. I had an old lady come for my first reading ever. She's like, am I going to meet someone soon? And I'm hearing bingo. I'm like, probably at bingo. But I didn't want to say bingo because I felt like I was categorizing her into an old lady that only goes to bingo. Where else would you meet someone? So I'm like, I feel like maybe at a nighttime event where there's a lot of people coming together. She's like, oh, probably at bingo. And I'm like, now if I had said bingo, that would have struck her a lot more than me being like, you know? And just recently someone came back after a long break, right? I had done a reading for them like 8 months prior. They come back. And everything I had said in that reading, or was getting in that reading, but didn't directly come out flat out and say, I got the confirmation of within this like time of them booking, just by their like questions. Their questions let me know that, okay, that was correct. And it's a hard place to be, because we don't want to just like, you know, horrible, like, oh yeah, so everybody you know in your life is a horrible liar and they're stealing from you and boop. You want to be tactful in your delivery. You don't want to just like blow someone's life up in a session, but you do want to, you know, intuitively talk about what you felt. Like, I felt a little something here, you know, and this is connected to people's power and stuff. So they may just naturally coming out with it, you know. They may naturally just be like, yes, oh my god, boop. Sometimes you may like feel like, I keep hearing dog or feeling dog or boop. Oh yeah, I just lost my dog and I've been feeling really sad about it. Again, it may not make sense to you, but speak on what you get or what you feel, or just at least allow yourself to go to where you're guided to go, you know. And no, don't get so worried on that's not a hand position, because like sometimes I go to a person's knee immediately and they're like, how did you know my knee's so broken, you know? So you gotta trust, okay? Be aware. People need to ask for healing too. Like, you shouldn't just go running around trying to give everybody healing. And if someone's like unconscious, you can say, you know, I would like to send them healing in alignment with their I am presence. If this person does not want to receive this healing, allow it to go to someone who's open to it, so that you're not infringing on free will and you're not forcing healing on people who don't want it, okay? The energy knows what to do. It comes from intent to heal, and people come from an intent to be healed. So you'll find that the right people show up at the right time. You hold your hands together, hands touching, fingers touching. Do not be attached to results. Do not question whether you're doing it right. You cannot make a mistake in the application of energy. On the physical level, when you touch, you heal. When you remove your hands, the energy will stop. You are a conduit to bring in energy, and there is a massive continual exchange of energy when you work on another's body's temple. The energy will automatically go where it is needed, and everyone has a different molecular structure. Generally, the left side, or most people, is receptive, while the right side is sending, but it depends. You know, what is your dominant hand? So whatever dominant side on you is going to most likely be the side that you're sending from, while the non-dominant hand is going to be the side that you're receiving on. A majority of people have a dominant right, but you may be opposite of that. And it doesn't even matter. It may not even correlate with that. Everybody's different, so you're going to feel over time which one feels like I'm sending and which one feels like I'm receiving, and depending on that, you may want to address that accordingly, like put different types of bracelets or different types of rings onto those receiving and giving hands. Like, what do you want to do? Like, I always want to protect what I'm receiving. I don't want the evil eye motherfuckers on me, so I got a lot of evil eye protection, but I want to give healing and good vibes and like high vibrational stuff, so I give with the good and I protect with the receiving, you know. So I'm going to take a break because my food should be done right now, and I will be back with part 3. In Renee, namaste.